Welcome to the latest installment of the Run to Daylight Bestball Study Hall podcast. I'm your host, Todd Burrows, and I am going to be doing my first live draft of the year on the FFPC. And this is the 2022 FFPC Never Too Early Best Ball Tournament by our friends over at the FFPC. $125 entry fee, $25,000 grand prize, $133,100 prize pool, limited to 1,152 teams, which means if, like me, you plan to do about 30 of these, you will have 2.6% of all the teams in the tournament, which is kind of cool. Drafts are available daily with 2-hour and 6-hour clocks, and sit and go drafts with a 30-second clock. And of course, every day there is 1 or 2 scheduled live drafts, and we are taking advantage of that, and we will be streaming it today. Go and use, if you've never done an FFPC draft before, go and sign up. Use the code BESTBALL, and you will get $25 off your first contest. Also, you go to myffpc.com to do it. All right, so that is the introduction. Let me share the screen. And you don't need to see my not so pretty face. All right, so you will see that I have loaded up the queue. I've loaded it up with more than 32 names, because I have the 8th and eventually the 32nd pick. So what I like to do is I like to put in all the players that I want for the first 3 rounds. I'm not going to show my queue the whole draft. We're going to move over to draft board mode at a certain point, and I'll probably keep this live for 10 or 12 rounds. Let's see how it goes and how I feel. I want to give you guys a sense of how I do these drafts. So I put them in the exact order they're in over here. These are not the order that I would take them because I don't want to give away my position. And then you will notice something that I do. Once the draft round is over, you'll find me go position by position for the next round, which will be the 4th. And so you'll see me at least put in through 4 rounds. And I'll go position by position. I always want to make sure when you've got a 1.5-minute clock, you don't want to be deciding who you like and searching the queue. That's wasted time. You want to be spending that time looking at who you already have, looking for correlations, looking for stacks, looking for bye weeks once we get bye weeks. So I always fill my queue as quickly as I make my last pick, so that if I'm talking, as I do live, but even when I'm not talking, I can see the what is that? There we go. All right. So I am ready. I'm ready for the draft. Let's see here. We got that for our friends over at the FFPC. You can see the little $25,000 logo, which is what I'm aiming for here. We'll go over to comments. Jose, always great to see you here, Jose. I will try and get questions in if you guys have any. But if not, no worries. So you guys have to realize that I am also looking at my exposures. It's still pretty early in this, so but I have a pretty good idea of who I have and who I want. So let's go over to the draft room. And Jonathan Taylor went first. And I kind of know who I want in the first round, but I don't think he'll make it to me, but we'll see. So Cooper Kupp went 2 ahead of McCaffrey. A lot of guys I know in this draft. I'm right in between mongooses and running roosters. guys who I do a lot of drafts with. Tree Huggers is in here. I think he already picked. I think I saw him early. Where is Huggers? Huggers, you're not hiding from me, brother. It says Huggers. I should have seen that. Oh no, he's behind me. That's
you are
why.
up
12.
next.
The guy I wanted was Travis Kelce.
Now you are on the clock.
He's gone. This is a pretty easy decision for me. I will take Najee Harris. Get that stud running back in the first round. So Najee Harris. I don't want to be harassed. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're looking in the Kyle Pitts, DeAndre Swift, CeeDee Lamb area. Could be Debo, could be Mixon, could be Tyreek if he falls. So let's see. I would be happy with any of those guys. I know Huggers wants to snipe me as much as he can. Thunder Sheets probably does too. I'm not a big fan of that dude. If it's the guy I think, the guy that's in my Dynasty League, big supporter of Mr. Trump and all things right. And he's just kind of a jerk, and I don't like him. And there's very few people I don't like. I can see the best in almost everyone. But I digress, but it's my podcast. So there you go. Can you guys see okay? Can you see the draft board okay? Jose, can you see it? And after 3 rounds, we'll switch the view to the draft board view once I put my cue in for the 4th. All right. So you can see comments. You can see your roster here. This is how you get to your draft board. If you're new to the FFPC, this is the running draft. This is your queue, and this is all your players. You always just want to click on ADP just to make it sure it's sorting by ADP. I did a bunch of podcasts about the importance of ADP and taking value at ADP when you can. So hope I'm not going to bore you guys. I don't have a guest.
You are up
just
next.
Little me drafting. So Tyreek, Pitts, Lamb, all 3 guys, any of those 3 I'd be happy with. You got years and years. So I've got Najee Harris. He's in the NFC North. So one of the sneaky ways that you can try and correlate, because we don't have bye weeks yet,
clock.
is you can take guys who are so I'm going to take my tight end. I know his ADP is probably dropping with everyone off that team and Matt Ryan off that team. I still like Kyle Pitts. Would prefer him a little lower, but I think I've been getting a lot of later drafts with tight ends, and I want to start getting more drafts with early tight ends. So you can see the different types of tiebreakers that you can use, even in early rounds, to make your pick. And for me, I've had a lot of drafts where I've been just missing out on the early tight ends. So we're going to get Mr. Pitts to go with. So now I've got a running back and a tight end. You might say I target wide receiver in the next round, but I'm open to the best available player. And you can see that early in drafts, you don't get a lot of reaching. This is a really, really good group. A lot of guys I know in this. So you're not going to see a ton of reaching and people trying to make their bones. I think Diggs was a good pick too. In that range that I picked. And you can see I've got 14 names with 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've got 13 names with 10 picks. And then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 players after. So I can start putting in some names. I would consider Mahomes in the mid fourth. I would consider Herbert in the mid fourth. Then I go to running backs. Kamara, Gibson, Aaron Jones, Akers, Breece Hall, Dobbins. That's really it. Wide receivers, Waddle, Keenan Allen, Higgins, Hopkins, Metcalf, McLaurin, DJ Moore. I'm not huge on Deontay Johnson, but because I have Harris, I would consider him at least. Godwin coming off injury. I think fourth round, all these guys are too early. And second tight end, Waller and Kittle. And I got Hawkinson in there. So you see now I've got 17 names. 17 names. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So that is how I do it. So now I'm ready for the fourth round as well. So let's switch out of stop sharing. And then let's share again. Share screen. Chrome tab. And then we'll go to draft board. All right, so now you guys can see the draft board. As I go, I should be up any second here. Wow, Kamara's still there. Kittle's still there. I'm sure both of them will be gone by the time I pick. I like Mike Evans more than most people. If Godwin starts the year on IR, he could be interesting. And there goes Kittle. I definitely would have went 2 tight ends if that was if Kittle was there. Did Kamara get suspended? Did Kamara get suspended? Anyone hear anything on Kamara? Why he's here at 3.8? I know he's got the issue, but this is where I would take him still. Anybody hear anything on Kamara in the draft board? All right. Check Twitter real quick. Nope, nothing there. So I will take Alvin Kamara. I will take the value. So that's a guy I haven't been drafting a lot of because of his problems. But it is a pretty obvious one to me to go after a guy like that when he falls. And that's why, let's say he only misses 3 games with his suspension. Getting Alvin Kamara at 3.8 is pretty sweet. So now 9, just double checking 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 picks until Kevin Wheeler says third round is safe. What's up, Wheels? I agree, and I think that's why I was just saying. I think third round, it's pretty even. So let's look at the start. So we've got a 3 running back start. This is not historically the best way to attack these, but I like the players he took. So we got a 1-1-1. We got a 2-1. We got a 1-1-1. We got a possible 0 RB out of the 5 hole. We got a 2-1, a 2-1. I'm a 2-0-1. We got our first. I missed him going in the. I wondered why. Josh Allen, second round. Wow. All right, running Roosters. Hopkins, and they got a 2-1. We got another possible 0 running back guy over here. I like to keep track of how many 0 running back guys there are in the draft because it can affect how I want to kind of snipe them. So Thunder Sheets figured I wanted, said I didn't like him, and then he went and took Deontay. But I don't think I would have taken Deontay over the 3 other wide receivers I still have on my. Oh, this is great. All right, so I get Mike Evans in the 4th. I like that. I could also go McLaurin or DJ Moore. Let me look up my ownership real quick. I don't think I'm going to have time for this, but I should have had this ready. All right, I don't have a lot of Mike Evans yet, so I'm going to go with Mike Evans. All right, so there we go. Now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I only got 3 names. So let's look at the quarterbacks I would take. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I got 16 names. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 13 to go. So you guys aren't seeing that, but I have got enough people in the queue. So this guy went Brees Hall with Dalvin, 2 and 2. All right, so definitely looks like a 0 RB. And I love that the guy that I'm not that fond of went a wide receiver I don't like as much. When I had 3 guys, I had Evans, DJ Moore, and McLaurin ahead of Deontay Johnson. So if he thought he was hurting me, he didn't. This is becoming all right. So you got a little Cardinals stack with number 9. We've got 2. Oh, this is me. 2-1-1, 2 and 2. We've got Jefferson, Hill, Dobbins, and Hawkinson. I kind of like that team. Definitely looking 0 RB. I like this team ever. No wide receiver here ever is doing a 0 RB. Gotta love that. 3rd wide receiver, Fournette in the 4th round. You can't argue that. Aaron Jones, McCaffrey, and A.J. Brown. I like that start. I don't like this one as much. Let's see what he goes. Oh, I do kind of like Waller still, but let's see what he does here. Anybody new? If you have questions or thoughts, feel free to stick them in. It does look like I'm going to have enough time to answer questions as we go. So Mahomes goes with someone who doesn't have a stack. I don't like that. I mean, I do get it's the end of the 4th round. That's about where he goes. Same thing here. Herbert, no stack. You know, I don't like. I do know that you don't have to have a number 1 wide receiver with a with an early quarterback, but I do like to do it. it kind of helps make me feel better about going so early at quarterback. And with 20 rounds, I don't mind going 3 quarterbacks. I don't mind going 4 quarterbacks if I have to. So, Dalton Schultz, I mean, I understand there's vacated targets there, but that's starting to get really rich for Dalton Schultz. So he's got no wide receivers, and he went 4th running back. This team is getting close to being one that could go off the rails a little bit, in my view. The FFPC, because there is only 2 starting running backs and 2 starting wide receivers, you can do this. The research from Michael Dubner we had was with 3 wide receivers. But according to Michael's numbers, that's buyout. All right, let's see how far away I am. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5 picks away, and there's plenty of guys I like. So I'm going to take some names out here. There's 3 guys I really want, and then someone gotta love reaches. Elijah Moore and Burrow were neither of the 3 I wanted. So now I'm going to get somebody I want, I think, although there goes a quarterback I would have considered. So I'm looking at Michael Thomas or Amari Cooper next. And I don't really care which one. I know who I'll break the tie with if they're both there. So you'll hear me talk a lot about tiebreakers, and Amari went, which left me the guy who would have won my tiebreaker. See, I have Kamara, and now I take Michael Thomas at ADP, and if he and now I've got to stack. Whether or not I get the quarterback doesn't matter to me. I don't mind stacking without having the quarterback. So that whether I get Jameis or not doesn't matter to me. But having Michael Thomas, if Kamara does get suspended, Michael Thomas should pick up the slack a lot during those games. And if he gets suspended for a lot, it'll hurt, but Michael Thomas will make up for it. Kind of like an old yo-yo. So this is going quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's go. There is a tight end I would take here. And I also get my second I only have 6 on the tier, and I'm 7 picks away. So I got to find someone else I want. All right. I got enough. All right, good. This is the short part of it. So now I'm looking at my team. 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end. I've talked about how I like to stay balanced if I can, especially in live drafts, because it allows you to. All right, so I'm going to get someone I like here. All right, I'm going to go with Russell Wilson. I don't have Judy. He went ahead of me. And, it kind of sucks as far as stacking. Kyler is also on the board. Mike Williams is a guy I like who I could take here, but I'm going to go with Russ. Thoughts from the peanut gallery on the Russ pick? Wheels? He's not going to make it back. Oh, well. Probably should have waited around on quarterback. Oh, well. This is a good time to take wide receiver anyway. All right, I need 2 more players to fill my queue, or I need 2 people I don't want to go. Let's look again. See, the value next pick is at quarterback, and I should have seen that coming and passed on Russ for Mike Williams, but it's okay. And there's the reach that one of the reaches I needed on Brady. Sorry, guys, I am deep in thought here. All right, I got someone who's definitely a tier down as my 8th pick, but we'll do it if it happens. I'm not going to take a second quarterback. That's the problem. The problem is that I might end up having to take a second quarterback just from a pure value perspective, but we'll see. All right, so he's now got 4 running backs. He finally took a wide receiver in Juju and a tight end. You know, good. I like the names, but I don't like the roster construction. 1, 2, 2, 1. Again, another 4. You take McCaffrey in the first, and then you take 3 other running backs in the first 5 rounds. That's not ideal. Kelsey, and you take Waller. These first 3 teams are not doing what I would do. Not that that means they're wrong. It's just not what I would do. Taking a second tight end with a guy that's not even like a super value is not my favorite thing to do. So those 3, 1, 3. All right. So this guy's only running back is Cam Akers. And he doesn't have a stack. He's got 2 quarterbacks with 2 quarterbacks and 1 wide receiver, no stacks, and 4 running backs. I mean, that's about it. I don't hate the names. He does have a stack, Fournette and Brady. And here's another doubling up on early. Man, these guys are making it easy for me with roster construction. All right, let me go back and see who's there. Yeah, I should get someone I like here. Yeah, four wide receivers I really like here. And when you look at my draft, you see that I've got two good stud running backs, only two wide receivers. So I'm really happy to get a wide receiver here. Would have been nice to see Sutton make it, but he didn't. And I'm not going to reach for Albert. Oh, just to make a stack. All right. Boy. All right. So I've got Lockett, Marquise Brown, and Allen Robinson. I like them all. I've got a Tampa Bay running wide receiver. I've got a New Orleans. Tampa Bay and New Orleans. I'm going to go with Allen Robinson because what I like about Allen Robinson is that if Kupp gets hurt, he could be a league winner. And I think he has a pretty good floor in the 7th round. You know, this is a guy who's never been drafted later than the 3rd round. He had an off year. So there are some questions, but I'm really happy there. All right, I got to get back and get people in the queue. All right, so I'm good for this round. And so going back, we got number 5, 4 wide receivers. Yes, he's got Burrow and Chase, Kittle, and he takes his first running back with CEH. It'll be interesting to see how he builds his running back room. 2 running backs here, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1. I like that. Just from roster construction perspective, I like this. Mongoose, he's a good drafter. 2 hits the 4, so now he's got 2 wide receivers in the flex. Comes back and gets a good tight end with upside. He's a good drafter, Mongoose. In general, I find him to be a good drafter. You see that I've got the 2 stud running backs, a stud tight end, 3 wide receivers now, and a quarterback. So I actually ended up making the right decision with Wilson, even though I'm not going to have a stack with him, which I don't like. But that's life. Russ does have it in him to get a few different guys going. So again, very 2 early running wide, 2 early quarterbacks. I think running Roosters is a good drafter. Don't mean to insult him, but that ain't for me, buddy. Herbert 1-3-3. I like that. See what he does with tight end. The 0 running back team went with Michael Carter and a very good value on David Montgomery. But I'm not a fan of Trey Lance in the 7th, but we'll see. I mean, maybe he's the starter, maybe he's not. But, you know, you're paying a premium. And then Huggers, who builds good teams, took Hurts, who I would have taken if he made it back. It goes with Goddard, Dalvin, Adams, Breece Hall, Singletary. I think his running backs are fragile considering how much he's put into him so far, because Dalvin's also looking at a possible suspension. But all right, I'm up next. And one of the wide receivers I was considering last time is still on the board, so that would be a no-brainer. And he made it. So 8th round, Hollywood Brown. Yes, please. What is his ADP? Seven one, and I got him 8.5. All right, so I was right. So you take, again, like I said, you take the values when you get them. You figure out your stacking and your other stuff later. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 people. And I've got 3 in the queue. I know it's kind of boring for you guys when I'm doing this, but I said I wouldn't do it, but then I just put him in the queue. Albert O. I needed a 13th name, and I didn't have anyone on my queue. As I went through, there was nobody, So I will also add one other guy I was considering. I guess there's a team, they're talking in the chat. Someone's all auto draft, and that is team 10. It's true. I kind of like his team. They were saying they like his team, even though he is. And there goes Rashad Penny. He would have, if Brown hadn't slipped, my pick would have been Penny. But I've got a lot of Penny, and I've got a lot of thoughts. So no, I've got Penny for thoughts. Yep, hit the huggers. I said it. Any questions you guys have? Anybody, any of my picks you don't like? Let's talk about it. All righty. I'm not as high on Garrett Wilson as some people are. This guy took his second wide receiver late, not a stack to either of his guys. He took Stafford over Robinson. Treylon Burks. Kadarius Toney I had in the queue. Sorry, I've been taking bites of my sandwich in between. So I'm going to get someone in a tier that I like. So no Albert O. Oh, no. Albert O. No. I saw something about Kareem Hunt on Twitter. They're just comparing him to Ronald Jones. Whoever's doing that, please stop. I'm begging you. I'm begging you. Kareem Hunt and Ronald Jones. One guy is an elite pass catcher, and the other guy is a danger to human beings catching the ball. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To me, I'm going to take him down. I got 5 guys I like. Excellent. I love when a plan comes together, boys. Bite of the sandwich. Mute for a sec. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 1 quarterback, 1 running back, and 2 wide receivers that are going to, one of those 4 will make it to me. And that wasn't one of my 2 wide receivers, although I do kind of like Drake London. I would have liked Miles Sanders. I would have definitely taken Miles Sanders. Kirk Cousins over Justin Fields. I really like Justin Fields here. But I'm going to take Chase Claypool. Remember when I said about 2, whether or not you have the quarterback? Claypool to go with Najee Harris. Yes, please. And then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Getting a little behind on running back now. And there's really only 1 here that I'm willing to take. So I am going to be behind, which means I just might take 6 running backs in this draft, which is fine. I could even go 7. Any comments? No comments. So we'll do this another round or 2. You guys can get a good view of what I'm doing. We're about 40-something minutes in, 43 minutes in. Then I'll focus on the last part of it. Derek Carr went to the team that auto-drafted. Pretty good auto-drafted team. I am up next. Didn't see that coming. Excellent. Ramondre made it back to me. That was the one I was hoping for. He was the only running back on my queue. And his ADP is 10-12. Surprised it's that late. He seems to go earlier in most of the drafts that I'm in. Where did I get him? I got him at, oh, no, he goes 10-1, and I got him at 10-5. So that's good. It's very good. All right, so now I've got 3 running backs. I've got 1 quarterback, 5 wide receivers. Really like my wide receivers, considering I didn't take one in the top 3 rounds. I got Evans, who could be a number 1, Thomas, who could be a top 12 guy, Allen Robinson, probably not a top 12 guy unless you get an injury. Marquise Brown, I like, and Claypool, I like. So I am very, very, very happy with this draft so far. I might not win, but I'm happy. All right, fill in the queue. Only got 10 names, so this could be interesting. 12 is needed, and I've got all right, let's see. Really don't want any of those quarterbacks. Too early for those wide running backs. All right, I got enough names now. And this will be the last pick. We'll wrap this up. You guys can check back later. Late in the draft, you'll notice how I am trying to fill out the roster. I still need 2 quarterbacks. So I'll be looking to fill in some stacks if I can. If I can't, it's not the end of the world. Oh, let's go through these teams again. So this guy now has 3, 4, 5 running backs, 3 wide receivers, including a rookie, 1 tight end, and 2 quarterbacks. No stack with his quarterbacks. This guy has 4 tight ends. He wants all the tight ends. He's got 3 and nobody to go with Patrick Mahomes. I'm sure there's a plan there. I just don't know what it is. And he just took James Robinson, who is coming off an Achilles, late season Achilles, and has ETN ahead of him, and he's got very little draft capital. This team has 5 running backs, 3 wide receivers. Still don't like that this much. Not crazy here. Let me lock in. All right, I'm going to take Tim Patrick to go with Russell Wilson. So a little bit. This is where I will reach a little bit. Don't mind that at all. We'll do one more round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. All right. Get Noah Fant in the queue. Oh, he already was. All right. So we will take one more. Let me move the draft board a little so you guys can see it better. Thank you guys for joining, and I will make my last pick. And the draft board's updating a little slow. 12-1. No, it's not that slow. I don't love a lot of the names in my queue. Let me move some people up. All right, so I'm going to get one of three guys that I like. And Fant went ahead of me. I would have taken him probably to get my second tight end, but it's not a great loss. All right, I'm going to take Russell Gage. I have Galladay there too, but I'm going to take Gage because I don't have as much exposure and because I do have Mike Evans. So A, that keeps someone else from having a stack. B, it gives me a stack where if one gets hurt, the other becomes more valuable. And I just think Gage is a good pick here too. So just from a floor perspective, I like it, and there's upside. So that's going to do it. I want to thank my friends over at the FFPC. Well, let's just go through some of the rest of the teams. So Kittle and Komet, I like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, but I like the 3 he got. So this zero running back team is coming together, but he needs 7. If this was me, the next 3 rounds would probably be next 4 rounds would probably be 3 running backs and a quarterback. 1, 2. You know what? I gotta get my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Get my queue together. So looking at my team, tight end. Oh, I was saying it might be getting late for me to get my second tight end, but my first is Pitt, so it's much less pressure. All right, guys, that's going to do it. I want to thank my friends over at the FFPC. You've been watching us do a never too early best ball tournament. Again, go to myffpc.com, sign up, use the code bestball, save $25 on your first draft. And thank you very much, guys. Have a good day.